All right, let's do this. The final thing to know is the development of the ear. So let's get this started. So before we start, I just want to remind you that development of the ear عبارة عن external, middle, and inner ear. All right, so this external ear اللي هي composed of external auditory meatus. Meatus معناها canal كده canal حفرة يدخل canal. Okay. بعدين middle ear عبارة عن tympanic cavity and continuous the auditory tube. بس تعرف ده middle ear. والinner ear عبارة عن many things. فيها cochlear, فيها semicircular ducts والكلام ده. But I want you to imagine the anatomy of the ear because you can imagine it when we discuss about the development stages. All right, we're gonna about development. How are they formed anyway? Inner, middle, and outer ear. So we're gonna start with the inner ear. Okay, we'll start with the inner ear. So before we start, we finished the development of the eye, right? We're going to start here with the optic vesicle from the outside, right? Now let's look at the ear, which is the otic vesicle. And you can see it's a little bit downwards, right? And remember, this is the region of the prosencephalon. This is the region of the mesencephalon. So this region, if I see another vesicle, it's an otic vesicle, yani ear, and it's on the region of the rhombencephalon. So prosencephalon, mesencephalon, rhombencephalon, okay? So now I wanted to do a cut section. I wanted to do a cut section, and I wanted to see this one from inferior view. I wanted to see a cut section, pick it up, right? I wanted to pick up the head and then look from an inferior view to see exactly what's going on here, all right? So this is exactly the type of view that you will see. So what do we see? We see the neural tube, and which part of the neural tube? We will see the rhombencephalon, okay, the rhombencephalon, and we can see what else? Besides the neural tube, which is by the way invaginating, حواليها هي دي surface ectoderm اللون الزرقاء دي, okay? Surface ectoderm, okay? So we can see surface ectoderm, and we can also see the red color, that's the mesoderm, and we can see the yellow color, that's the endoderm, all right? And you can see this is the notochord, all right? All right, perfect. So we're looking at this from an inferior view, all right? Now, what I want you to know is that the development of the inner ear is gonna come from the surface ectoderm, right? The surface ectoderm on each side of the rhombencephalon. So let me show the next picture, right? Because this is invaginating. Once it separates itself, we can see the rhombencephalon. Let's look at this picture right here in number A, okay? So you can see that on picture number A, that the surface ectoderm are thickening on each side of the rhombencephalon. They're thickening to form a placode. Oh, just like the development of the lens. They're going to form a placode, and this thickened portion of the ectoderm, خلي بالك, placode معناها thickened portion of ectoderm. But this thickened portion of ectoderm, this placode, is going to give you the future inner ear. عشان كده يسمى otic placode. في lens placode, otic placode. وهيجي نفس الشيء. أصلا ليش حصلت, by the way, why did it basically proliferate? Why did this ectodermal cell proliferate to give you a placode? لأنه في growth factors جاية من الرابنسيفالون، اوكي؟ جاية growth factors. بس المهم هتعطيك الاوتيك placode، وزي اللينس placode هتحصل invagination، صح؟ هتحصل invaginate fold on itself، وهيعطيك كده otic pit، صح؟ otic pit، and it will continue to invaginate till the otic placode separates itself from the surface ectoderm, mashallah, developed into the otic vesicle, small space, otic vesicle. Okay, ده كلها للinner ear على فكرة. And this otic vesicle is gonna give you the inner ear. It's gonna have a ventral component, and it's gonna have a dorsal component. Okay, the ventral component and the dorsal component is gonna give you the many structures of the inner ear that together we call it as the membranous labyrinths. خلينا نشوف السلايد عشان تعرف إيش قصدي. بس did you get the point how the inner ear is developed? Where does it originate from? It originates from the surface ectoderm on each side of the rhombencephalon. They will proliferate to form the otic placode. Otic placode will invaginate until it becomes the otic vesicle. That's the derivative of the inner ear. Okay, so here it is. The origin, the stages, and it will eventually proliferate to give you the different parts of the inner ear. يعني الventral component, it will give you the saccule and cochlear and the cochlear duct. يعني جا الكوكشليا، شايف الكوكشليا والساكيول، يعني عملنا خط هنا، عملنا كده خط، صح؟ عملنا خط. شوف الفنترال كومبوننت هنا ايش هيعطيك الشكل زي السنيل، كوكشلير والساكيول، اوكي؟ طب الدورسال كومبوننت ايش بتعطيك السيمي سيركلر كانال والاندوليمفاتيك داكت واليوتريكل، اوكي؟ ده كل اللي بيعطيك، تمام؟ So ventral component, saccule, cochlear duct, with dorsal component, utricle, endolymphatic, was semicircular duct. If you join all these structures together, يعني all of these structures together, they're together called the membranous labyrinths. تمام? This is the components of the membranous labyrinths. Okay, all of these, right? So they will give you the membranous labyrinths. And we finished the development of the inner ears. تمام? Finish development of the inner ear. Next, we will look at the development of the middle ear and the external ear مع بعض because they're joined together. See, when we looked at development of the inner ear, it's going to be separate, all right? Its development is going to be separate from the development of the inner and external ear. Eventually, by the end of development, they will all join together so they can give you the ear, all right? Don't worry. But at the beginning, they'll be separate. So now let's look at the development of both the middle and the inner ear, all right? What did we say the middle ear, the middle ear was composed of? The middle ear was composed of tympanic cavity, this tympanic cavity, and auditory tube, all right? Let's see how it's formed. Now, in order to tell you how it's formed, first I want to remind you from MSK something about the pharyngeal apparatus, all right? You see, your middle ear is going to be developed from what is mentioned in the slide from the first pharyngeal pouch. I just want to remind you very quickly what is the first pharyngeal pouch, and you will get this easily, all right? All right, so let's imagine that there was the pharyngeal apparatus, all right, here as well, all right? There was the pharyngeal apparatus like this, like fingers, like a pack of fingers, right? And I did a cut section along with the otic vesicle, all right? And I looked at it from an inferior view and I saw this pharyngeal apparatus, okay? This specific one. في pharyngeal apparatus 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. نركز فقط في ال1, okay? You see, the pharyngeal apparatus عبارة عن endoderm, all right? Endoderm right here, which is going to give you the pouch, right? It's going to give you a pharyngeal pouch. Mesoderm is going to give you arch, والectoderm هتعطيك الكليفت. يعني pouch endodermal in origin. الكليفت ectoderm. هنركز فقط في البharyngeal pouch والكليفت الأول واحدة اللي هي دي, okay? So this is what we're seeing from inferior. Pharyngeal pouch is going to give you what? It's going to give you the middle ear. والpharyngeal cleft ectoderm هتعطيك external ear. ازاي؟ هنشوف. But did you get the point? This is the pharyngeal apparatus. So what I would see from this view if I did a cut section here to see the pharyngeal apparatus as well. Now, just imagine. Open up your imagination, okay? Imagine. Please imagine. I took this picture right here. Imagine this pharyngeal apparatus. I took this picture and I put it right here. Okay, and I saw only the first part, all right? I only saw the first pharyngeal pouch, cleft, and arch, all right? Yani I put this picture, the same view, by the way, this is the same view. I put this picture right here, and I put it right here, and I just saw the first one. You see this region right here? مش ده endoderm, اليلو color, واللون الأحمر mesoderm وده الectoderm. هي دي نفس دي, okay? نفسها, okay? تمام, فأنا شايف أول جزء من الpharyngeal apparatus in this picture right here, okay? Perfect. Now you see this endoderm, خلينا نشوف the development of the middle ear in here, okay? So this is from the same view as before, all right? We'll just look at it inferiorly, okay? You see, this is the endoderm. And this endoderm specifically, the first pharyngeal pouch, is going to start to grow in a lateral direction, all right? They're going to go in a lateral direction, all right? Like I say, from this picture as well, lateral direction, all right? It's going to go in a lateral direction towards what? Towards the pharyngeal cleft. يعني لو أنا خطيت كده بس names ده الفيرست pharyngeal pouch, okay? وهذا اللون الأزرق الفيرست cleft, first pharyngeal cleft. You see, the first pharyngeal pouch, they're gonna grow laterally, all right? They're gonna go in a lateral direction towards the pharyngeal cleft, قصدي, and they will grow laterally until they come in contact with the first pharyngeal cleft to fuse with it, all right? Now, when that happens, let's see what happens actually. When that happens, the pharyngeal pouch is gonna be divided into two parts: proximal part, all right, proximal part, تمام, and a distal part, okay, the first pharyngeal pouch, okay, proximal part and distal part, and both parts are going to give you the middle ear, but different parts of the middle ear. Let's see in this picture, this other pictures as well. So you see how it grows laterally towards the pharyngeal cleft, this side, okay, and we can see in this picture from A to B to C. You see it? You see it. All right. We said that the first pharyngeal pouch is distal part. This distal part right here is going to give you a small space. يسموها tubo-tympanic rhesus. Okay? Tubo-tympanic rhesus. Rhesus معناها small space. Okay? Small space. This small space, this tubo-tympanic rhesus, it will widen. All right? It will become from a small space to a bigger space. And thus, the tubo-tympanic rhesus is eventually going to become known as the tympanic cavity. Okay, the tympanic cavity. Now, this tympanic cavity is going to be connected to a tube. And this tube is going to be known as the auditory tube. Where did this auditory tube develop from? Didn't I say the distal part of the first pharyngeal pouch was going to give you the tubotympanic rhesus, becomes tympanic cavity? This is the distal part. The proximal part is going to remain widened. It's going to remain big, all right? Not narrow. I mean, it's going to be narrow, my bad. It's going to be narrow, all right? It's going to remain narrow, my bad. It's going to remain narrow to give you the auditory tube. All right, so it's going to give you the auditory tube. So the distal part is going to give you the tubotympanic rhesus, which will become the tympanic cavity, and that's the distal part, and the proximal part will give you the auditory tube. So please, can I bring this picture? Tamam? Can I draw it so you can imagine the development now? Now that you know, this is the first pharyngeal cleft, and this is the first pharyngeal pouch, which was going to give you the two structures. This is what the external ear, all right? This is going to be the external auditory meatus, and this is the tympanic cavity, right? Tympanic cavity developed from the distal part, and this is going to be the auditory tube. This is the auditory tube. Can you imagine it now? Distal part, proximal part. Distal part, proximal part, okay? We finished the development of the middle ear. So when I tell you the tympanic cavity, or let's say the middle ear is developed from where? From the first pharyngeal pouch. So what about the pharyngeal cleft? The first pharyngeal cleft, the zlon al-azraq that came in contact with the pharyngeal pouch, is gonna give you the external ear, all right? So if we were to remove all of this real quick, all right? Or actually this part of the picture, but if we were to remove this, I told you the first pharyngeal cleft ectoderm is going to give you the external ear. It's going to give you the external acoustic meatus. And it's this one right here, the tympanic cavity, the tube. So what about this meatus? This meatus is your external auditory meatus or external acoustic meatus. Developed from where? Developed from the first pharyngeal cleft, which is why they're interconnected, all right? The development of the middle ear and the inner ear. They're both connected. They're going to join together, tamam? To form the lovely ear as we know. So that's what I want you to know. So when I tell you the development of the external ear is developed from where? From the first pharyngeal cleft. Middle ear, first pouch. The inner ear من الأوتيك vesicle, from the surface ectoderm. Okay? Aortic vesicle من the surface ectoderm on each side of the rhobencephalon. تمام? We finished the development of the ear. Alhamdulillah. And bada bing, bada boom. خلصنا دي. development of the external ear جاي من first pharyngeal cleft. The development of the middle جاي من first pharyngeal pouch. ده الترانسليشن للكلام ده. تمام. And the distal part زي ما قلنا والproximal زي ما قلنا. Proximal part auditory tube, distal part the tubotympanic rhesus. Okay? Will become tympanic cavity. خلصنا الديفلوبمنت الحمد لله. نمشي للانوماليز وخلصنا الموضوع. اول شيء معنا مايكرو اوتيا. مايكرو معناها سمول، اوتيا معناها اير. يقول لك انه في سمول اور rudimentary auricle. ايش معنى auricle؟ auricle معناها the part of the ear، يعني your ear that is visible، يعني everybody's ear. You can see their ear from their head. So this part of the ear that you can see from the outside, that is the visible part، يسموها auricle. Okay? And that's what it means. So small rudimentary auricle بتكون بس pieces of it يعني developed. Okay? Next one is absence of the auricle. Absence of the auricle يعني ما فيش auricle at all. يسمى anotia. تمام. And معناها absence of the auricle. اللي بعده pre-auricular sinus. Pre معناها front or interior. Auricle هذا the visible part of the eye. I mean visible part of the ear. تمام. From the outside. Sinus معناها channel, small space. صح? So pre-auricular sinus من اسمها in that case. Pre-auricular sinus معناها there's a sinus in front of your auricle. This is the auricle sinus, okay? There is a sinus in front of your auricle, okay? And it could be on both ears, تمام? Bilateral and familial طبعا, but in both ears. And it's triangular in shape, okay? Pre-auricular sinus. Next one is atresia of the external acoustic meatus. مش شفنا الاكسترنال acoustic meatus مش كانت شكلها زي كده؟ مش كان في opening هنا؟ في opening والاوبننج هنا بتتكمل صح؟ الاوبننج تتكمل بحد توصل للميدل اير والانر اير. Where in this one there's atresia of the external acoustic meatus. Meaning what? Mean that the deep part يعني لو شفتها من جوا هي the deep part. لو شفتها من جوا it's open, okay? The problem is in the superficial part يعني this part right here. You see this part? Let's put it in a different color. You see this part right here? The superficial part, it is blocked. There's atresia. It's blocked by bone and fibrous tissue. So the external acoustic meatus is closed. Okay, that's what you would see from the outside. Atresia of the external acoustic meatus. The superficial part is closed, but the deep part, يعني لو شفتها جوا هي open أصلا. Okay. آخر واحدة absence of the external acoustic meatus. يعني الشخص ما عنده acoustic meatus لكن الأوركل normal بس ما فيش acoustic meatus. اخر واحده اللي هي الكونجنتال ديفنس. congenital deafness the babies طبعا deaf. بيكون في mild development يعني physiology ده mild development للsound conducting ears، يعني لان الاكسترنال middle ear هي بتعمل conduction للsound، الانترنال ear هي بتعمل translation، بتعمل translation. فلما يكون mild development للفانكشن بتاعت الميدل او الاكسترنال والانر، يعني لو في mild development malfunction في الفانكشن بتاعت الانترنال middle والاكسترنال ear، الشخص هيكون عنده congenital difference. This could be caused by two causes. This congenital difference could be caused by genetic factors, and it could be caused by rubella infection. Where did we hear rubella infection before in the embryology? We heard it from the congenital cataracts. So rubella infection in the babies, if the mother were to be infected with rubella during pregnancy, her baby could be suffered from congenital cataracts and also from congenital deafness. Okay, during the 7th and 8th weeks, during development of the inner ear. Okay, internal inner ear نفس الشيء. And that is all